Hello and welcome. This is the final day before the bar exam for most of you. If you're a Tuesday jurisdiction, you'll be taking your test tomorrow as I'm recording. If you are in a jurisdiction like New Jersey, you actually start with Wednesday with the multi-state day. But in any event, I assume that for many of you this is a day of travel and hopefully a day for some rest and some focus. I know that some of you will be cramming, unfortunately, at the end and trying to put everything into your brain. It's probably not the most productive thing to be doing, and so I'm hopeful that you're listening or watching to this because you want to do something other than just put another outline or another piece of information into your head. The message that I sent to my students today actually comes from the Bible, from the Old Testament, a book called Jeremiah. And Jeremiah 29:11 says, "I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." I think that's a pretty important piece of advice this morning, with all apologies to Joel Osteen and those who preach the Gospels of prosperity. I'm actually not suggesting here that God has a plan for you to pass the bar exam. It's not for me to know, and it's probably not for you to know either. But I do take great comfort in the knowledge that the God of my understanding has a plan for my life, and I presume also a plan for your life. That plan may include passing the bar that you're taking this week, but it might not. And I think the point is, at this stage, that you need to be comfortable with whatever that reality is going to be. In other words, you want to do your best for the next couple of days. You want to be clear and focused and giving it your very best effort. There's no question about that. But at the same time, I think you need to have a kind of an inner peace here that says, I can't really do more than my best. I can't grade the papers, I can't make it magically turn from one thing to another, and I can't control the outcome. All I can control is my performance. And then I'll leave it up to God, the examiners, or some combination thereof as to what happens next. The students that I've found over the years that do best on the bar exam truly are those that give it up at the end and say, this is not up to me. All I can do is my very best work. The people who try to have maximum control, who want to make sure that everything is just so and know everything and it's all figured out for them, those are the people that really struggle through these next couple of days. Look, there are going to be some weird things that happen no matter where you are. There's going to be the examiners that won't let you chew your gum because you're too loud, or you want to bring water in and, by the way, you can't do that. Some of you want to bring in papers and pencils and pens, and in some states you can't do that either. Go with the flow. Just relax. I mean, I'm getting questions today about things like, can I bring a watch in with a sounding beeping alarm? No, you can't do that. You can't use the audible alarm in most states. Can I write on every other line? Well, in some states like New York, you can't do that. Can I bring liquids into the room or food into the room? And the answer is generally no. Can I bring my word processing spell checker with me? No. I mean, these are all fairly obvious things. But at the end, what I see is that the anxiousness grows really great. And so that's why I take you back to this passage. God has a plan for each of our lives. At least that's my belief. That plan may include you passing the bar. It may not on this try. But the truth is that we're given the promise that the plan is to prosper you and not to harm you. Now, I know that to many of you, the idea of not passing seems like it would be harmful. But in fact, I've encountered some of the most gracious and incredible people who failed the bar and then ultimately passed or went on to do other things. One of my favorite stories this time around has been a student that came to me after he had failed the bar 8 times. Came to us and took the bar in the last exam, and he passed. In fact, he passed with such a high score, the examiners were a little skeptical of how that could have happened. But in the ensuing period of time, he's become an incredible resource to his law school and his community to work with other people who were discouraged and had given up. And I guess I'd say his failing the bar 8 times had a plan behind it, and the plan has prospered him, and it's prospered those around him. I would tell you that you can't control what's going to happen for the next 3 days in terms of outcomes, but you can absolutely control how you approach it. And so have a good lunch today, a good dinner tonight, sleep well. When you get to the exam rooms tomorrow, relax, keep to yourself, focus on the work that you've got to do. Don't discuss the exam with other people, don't post-mortem it. When the Tuesday morning session is done, put it away. You can't change it. When you go to Tuesday afternoon, do your best, and then when Tuesday is done, put it away. You can't change it. I had a student a few years ago who was taking one of the bar exams, and he was an older practicing attorney, and he was staying at a hotel with a lot of bar takers, and he came out of the first day's exam and standing in the elevator, and all of these bar takers around him were all just sort of chattering and nervously talking about what was on the exam, and apparently they really got on his nerves. And so just before he got off the elevator, he said something about, "Boy, I'm sure glad I killed that trust issue." And of course there was no trust on the exam, and he knew that full well. Well, suddenly there was stone cold silence in the elevator, and everyone was well, that was mean. I didn't think that was a very nice thing to do, but I certainly understood what he was doing. You know, post-morteming is just vicious, dirty, ugly, miserable, no good. There is nothing good about it. You want a post-mortem, contact me and I'll absorb all your craziness. But the truth is, you shouldn't be talking to anybody about what's going on in the exam. There's no need to. Keep your focus on what you can do. Keep your focus on what you can control. You can't control the outcome, so don't worry about it. Just do your very best. Take it nice and easy, nice and relaxed. Do your best and know that there's a plan to prosper you. Throughout this series, I've tried really hard to balance some substantive material with really some bigger picture kinds of things. And I guess I end on the big picture today. There's lots of little picky things you can get ready for tomorrow. You can dress in layers, you can bring all the right stuff, you can have your admission ticket or at least a photo ID. I had one of those calls this morning too. You know, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of trivia you can get caught up in. But in the big picture, what you're doing is offering up yourself as a member of our profession, a chance to be a kind and gentle member of this profession, I hope, someone who will bring credit to what we do. I have great confidence in the students I've worked with that they're going to do that. They're really unique people and marvelous individuals, and I wish all of you the very best. If you're one of those people that's been watching that I've never had a chance to communicate with, I appreciate you taking the time to watch and listen to this series. I hope it's been beneficial to you. I wish you also the best on your exams. I'd love to hear from you as you go forward and find out your stories and the things that have happened to you both before the exam and after the exam. But really, I hope for you, each of you, that you will find that there is a plan for your life and that this has been a part of that plan, and it was a part that prospered you and did not harm you. I'll be back as we continue a countdown or begin a countdown towards the next bar exam in a couple of weeks. But I do wish all of you the very best. I hope that you're having safe travels and that the bar exam goes as well as could possibly be imagined for you, and that you will be calm and confident and that you will get the most out of this experience and demonstrate all the skills that you've developed. Thanks so much for being with me, and this is the end of our broadcast countdown.